Hello everyone, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Lightway Research and Technology Center. If you are working with data in SPSS, chances are you have run into missing values. So in this video, we are going to learn how to undo missing value like a pro. Whether you are cleaning survey data or preparing for statistical analysis, I'm confident that this tutorial will walk you through the steps, and at the end of this video you will know how to handle missing values like a professional. Please don't forget to like these videos. You can also subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our data tips. The first thing that you need to understand is what are missing values. In SPSS, missing values occurs when no data value is stored for a variable in an observation, and this could happen due to skipped questions in a survey, data entry error, or system issues. In this particular video, or in our previous video, I've shown you some missing values in our data sets. But in this video, I will show you how to undo to address all the missing value issues. So the next thing now is to launch your SPSS package. Please, if you are yet to launch your SPSS, kindly do that. And once that is done, you load your data set. Here I already have my data set loaded. I have 6 variables here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first one is identifier. So once your data set is opened, you can do a quick inspection by looking through the variables, the data. Here we have missing values here. Here too we have another missing value. Here also there's a missing value here, but in a situation whereby you have a large sample size, it may not be convenient for you to be checking the cases one after the other the way I'm doing here. So the best way to check for missing value is to do a descriptive analysis. You do a descriptive analysis. I've demonstrated how to do that in our previous videos, but I will also do it again. So to do that, you go to analyze. Then from analyze, you select descriptive statistics. Then you pick frequencies. So once you do that, you move all the data to this box. You can move one after the other, or you highlight everything and move it at once. Then you click OK. Here you have the summary of all your data. You can see this is the frequencies and this is the summary of everything. So based on this, we have one missing value here, tribe. We have another one here, employee. We have 2 here, 0. Then we have 1 here. So that's the best way to detect your missing value. And this occurs when a respondent or a participant fails to answer a particular question in your questionnaire. And another thing that I want you to know is that there are 2 major types of missing values. There are 2 major types of missing values. The first one is system missing, and the second one is user-defined missing values. In this data now, you can see missing system. This is an example of system missing values. You can see here that we did not really enter the data, so that is considered a system missing value. But a user-defined missing value is a situation whereby an analyst already indicated the value for all mixing data in a particular data set, and this value tells SPSS to treat that particular cases as that particular data as mixing instead of it to just be blank like this. You can see this one is blank. Also, there's another one here. This one also is blank dots, that's blank. So that's a system mixing values. This is another one here. But in a situation whereby you, as an analyst, you define it yourself, like here you come to mixing, then for maybe there is a participant that choose not to answer a certain question in your questionnaire. You can attach a value to it. You can just code that as preferred not to answer. For instance, here you can just say, okay, for this tribe, that for the participants that fails to indicate his or her tribe, you can just come here and say discrete. You select discrete and you just put 99. So SPSS will recognize that as discrete, as mixing value. Then in your data, you come to tribe. Anywhere you see empty, you change it to 99. You change it to 99. Okay, let me rerun the analysis now. You will see how the results will look like. In the first one, under tribe, it is considered system mixing value, right? But in this analysis, you will see that it will be user defined mixing value. Let me go to analyze descriptive frequencies again. Okay, now let's go. You can see now mixing. So this is a system defined a user defined mixing values. So we have two types of mixing values: system mixing and user defined mixing value. User defined is a situation whereby you already indicated a value in your variable field, and SPSS will count that as what? As a mixing value. Now to undo mixing values, you need to be very, very careful. We have established in this particular data set now that we have user defined mixing values as well as system mixing value. This is system mixing value, this is user defined. And why is it user defined? Because we have already indicated it here. So if you want to do the same for every other variable here, you can just come here and type, and you select discrete, you type 99, everything. The first problem is to have a mixing value. The second one is how to address a mixing value. First, you can address your mixing value by deleting the case, that is the participant. In under when we were looking at SPSS interface, I made it clear that row here is a case which can also be reversed to as respondent. So now to address this particular mixing value, you can decide to delete this particular case. And when you delete this case, what happens? Your sample size will reduce. For instance, if you have 100 sample size and you delete here, now we have how many mixing value? 1, another one here, 2, then we have another one here, 3. Let's assume you have like 15 mixing values. So when you delete 15 cases, it simply means that you have like 85 observations left. So that's not the best way to me. You can just delete by right clicking on it, then you click on clear. You can see that's gone. But I don't want to delete because I have just 15 observations here and I want to maintain that. So the first solution is to delete the case. You can delete the case, but take note that when you delete the cases, it will reduce your sample size. So if you are okay with the reduction in sample size, you can delete the cases and move on with your analysis. Now, the second approach, the second solution, which to me I consider are the best solution, is to replace the missing value. You can choose to generate a mean, a median, or any other statistics and replace all the missing values in your data with that particular value. For instance, if I want to replace this one, now this is a missing value. If I want to replace it, what I just need to do is to generate the mean of the entire data here, then replace all the missing value with the mean. So let me quickly demonstrate how to do that. To use a replacement approach, you need to go to transform, then from transform you look for replace missing value, you click on replace missing value. Then once you do that, you now select, we are dealing with employee, we want to replace all the missing value in this particular variable. So you now select employee here, then you move it to this column, it will automatically generate this. Now, which method or what method do you want to use? Okay, you can change the name if you want to. We have emp here. So if you now want to use average, that is mean. If you want to use average, you can say emp average. Or if you want to use mean of near points, if you don't want to generate the mean of the entire data, that is the 48 observations, you can just make use of the mean of the nearby points. So SPSS will consider the mean, maybe the first 5 observations here, then this observation, and replace the missing value with the mean of those observations. Another one is to make use of median of the near points. Then another one is to do linear interpolation or linear trend at points. So you have like 5 methods that you can use to generate your missing value. But in this video, I will stick to mean, so you can choose anyone, but you need to take note. Whatever method you use to generate your missing value, you must take note of the method, because in your methodology, you need to let your readers know that, okay, I have so number of missing value, and this is the method I use to generate the missing value. Because another author somewhere in any part of the country can decide to use your data for his or her analysis. So such author must be aware that, okay, this guy used so methods to generate the missing value. So when reviewers raise questions of, oh, you have so observation, you have so sample size, how do you address this issue, how do you address this issue, such author will be able to write explicitly or to give a clear explanation of how those values are generated. So whatsoever you do here, you must notice down and put it down in your methodology. So in here, let us make use of serial mean. Then once you select serial mean, then you click on OK. So immediately any pending change operation will be lost. Okay, we are satisfied. Then you click OK. So now SPSS will generate a new data set for you. You can see now. This is a new data set that SPSS generated for us. You see, here we have missing value here, case 10. But if you look at it here, the system has replaced it with the mean of the entire data. Look at the second one here too. The system has replaced it with the mean. The mean of the entire data here, the 48 observation, is 17. But if you use mean of near points, that means the data here will be different from the one here, because SPSS will only look at the mean of near points here, then the mean of near points here. So you will not have the same value the way it is here. If you want to do the same for every other missing value, it is just the same approach that we use. But I will advise that you should be consistent. Don't use serial mean here and you use near points here and you use median of nearby. No, make sure you use the same method for all the variables. But if you are writing another paper, you can now choose to use another method. And before you conclude on what method to use to generate your missing value, please, I will suggest you consult the literature, know what other authors are using and why they are using that method, because you need to convince your reviewers that, okay, what I'm doing is right. For instance, if I'm reviewing a paper and I have an issue with your method, I will certainly list those issues out, and what I'm expecting from you is to tell me why you use those issues and why that method you are using is better than what I have in mind. So please consult literature, know what is best for you or for your data or in your field, because what is best in economics may not be the best in accounting. It may not be the best in other social sciences or pure science. So please consult the literature. Now, if you want to compute the missing value for this particular variable, let me look this one now. What you just need to do is to go to transform. From transform, you click on replace missing value. Then instead of moving only this here, you now move all the variables. You move this one there, you can also move this one, you can see. So it will generate all the missing value and replace them. But so you just have an entire data set, a different data set here. You have the way you have employee one, you have edu one, you have tribe one, you have religion one, you have gen one, you have productivity one. So that is the second approach. Don't forget, I said the first approach is to delete the cases, but the caveat is that your sample size will reduce. And this second approach, you can make use of any of the 5 methods: this mean, the nearby mean, the nearby median, the interpolate, linear interpolate, or trend. Then the third method that you can, or the approach that you can use to address missing value, is to make use of multiple interpolation. This one is best when you are analyzing survey data where you have several variables, and you see you may not want to you may want to look at which one is best. So the multiple imputation will generate different values, like here we have just 17. That this particular approach will give you different values of the missing, so it is left for you to pick the best approach. Now, to do that, to make use of multiple imputation, what you need to do is just to go to analyze, then you look for multiple imputation, then you select input missing data values. So once you click on this, you will have this window. Don't forget that this is a generated variable. So now you will have your windows like this. Then from here you can now move all your variables. Let's assume there are several missing values and you want to compute for all the variables at the same time. You now highlight all the variables and move them to this box. Now, how many imputations do you want for each of the variables? For instance, if you stick to 5, that means we have like 5 different values for education, for employee, and so on and so forth. But for this video, let me just use 2. I'm okay with 2. If you want to do 10, you are permitted to go ahead. Now, here you have this one as empty as well. Then it is expected of you to give your data set, because this particular method will generate a new data set for you, a complete data set. This one is the second approach, that's replacing, will give you all the data sets in the same work file, but this approach will generate a new work file for you. So you need to indicate what name the new what file will bear. So let's just give it here we have SPSS training series. Then we can just say training series. You understand? Training series. So now this will be the name of the new work file. So once I click OK, here a new work file will come up. The name of the new data set is not valid. Data name must follow the same rule as the names of variables. Okay, let's use education. Let's use edu. Okay, now this is the outputs. This is the outputs. This one tells us, it gives us the summary of the whole data. But the new work file generated is this. You can see edu, that's the name that we indicated. Now imputation, this is our normal data. The 0, this one that carries 0 is our normal data. Now the one generated is this. From this one, you can see we have 50 observations. From 51 to 100 is the new one. Now for the first missing value, now you know the method we use under replacing gives us what? 17 for the 2. Here we have difference, 23 and 37. The same thing is applicable to all. All the missing values have been replaced with a new value. Now let us look at the second one. You can see now a different value entirely, 33 and 28. So if you are dealing with complex analysis, you may now save this particular work file, then you begin to do your analysis, and if you are looking for the best result, then you report the data that gives you the best results. So instead of you to be doing computation to make use of replacement approach, you can just use this imputation approach. Then you have, if assuming I use 5, then this thing will continue to 5, but I decided to use 2 when I was setting up the window. So now this one is fantastic if you are analyzing complex data and you may not have the time to go back and generate mixing again. So you can just generate as many as possible, then you start your analysis, and at the end of the day you report the data that gives you the best results. But you need to be very careful. Whatever method you use, please make sure you document everything and ensure that method reflects in your methodology so that your reviewers will not be confused. You understand? Make sure you indicate that method. Okay, if you use imputation method, let it be shown that you use imputation method. If you use serial mean, you use median of nearby data. Make sure you indicate all those things in your methodology. But please, before you decide how to handle missing data, you need to keep these points in mind. First thing is that you need to always explore how much data is missing. Please take note of that. If you have several missing values in your data set, please you have a large sample size, you can just delete. Since you have a large sample size, you can delete those ones. But you have a very small sample size, don't delete. You can use any of the last two methods, your replacement method or imputation method. Another thing is that you need to understand why that particular value is missing. Is it a random or a systematic? For instance, random one, the first respondent, 20th respondent, then that's random. It's not unique. It's not that, okay, everything for this case is missing. For instance, if you have everything for case 4 to be missing, then You don't even need to compute in that case. If everything here is missing, you just delete. You don't need to compute. But if it is random, okay, you have only one mixing here, okay, one mixing here, you can use computation approach, I mean the replacement approach or the imputation approach. But for this type of sample size, replacement approach is okay. But when you are dealing with survey, of course, you can use the imputation approach. And please take note, you need to, if you want to use imputation approach, you must be very careful with it, and you don't just blindly replace any value. Please, you need to go and study that particular participant as well. I mean the respondents. Study the attributes. You don't just replace a value that will at the end of the day become, you don't just replace it with a value, at the end of the day that value will become an outlier in your data set. And the last thing which I've said is that you must document any changes for transparency. Document everything and make sure you put everything in your methodology, your data section. Put everything there. Let reviewers know that okay, you use imputation method, you use replacement method. You let reviewers know how many value is missing in your data sets. Let them know, let your readers know, so that they will know the level of confidence they will have in your results. For instance, if you have 50 sample size and about 30 observations are missing, it doesn't make any sense, right? But if you have thousands and you just have 30 mixing values, there won't be an issue. So I believe you now know how to identify, define, and handle missing values in SPSS. So because cleaning your data is an essential step, and you must do it before moving on to analysis. So please don't skip this particular step. Look out for the missing values. Make sure you address everything. If this video has helped you, please drop a like. Also, you can go to our comment section and ask any question. We will certainly attend to your question. Please remember to subscribe for more tutorial just like this one. I can guarantee you that you will have the best from us.